Hi, welcome or welcome back to Gavin Reads It All. I'm filming this on the 1st of January 2026, so Happy New Year. I am a little bit unwell. However, I'm not going to let this deter me from having a fantastic 2026. And the prospect of having a lot of the books that I'm the most excited to read on the horizon just makes me that much more excited for the new year. So welcome to my 26 books to read in 2026 video. I did do 24 books to read in 2024 and 25 books to read in 2025. Did I complete those lists? Debatable. I mean, the factual answer is no, but it's still debatable. Depends on how you look at it. But I do end up doing a vlog to try and clean up those lists at the start of a new year. So I'm currently in the middle of doing my cleanup of my 25 books to read in 2025. And it's always really exciting to see like the countdown to reading these books and getting them finished before the end of the year. And I recently did that with Les Miserables. And I did finish it. I did complete it before the end of the year. And I'm just so proud of that. I'm so happy. So I am going to do my absolute best, of course, to go through all of the books that I am mentioning in this video, but you know, there might always be one or two that just slips through the cracks. Maybe in like a few months time I might not fancy it as much, but I've ended up changing my 26 books to read in 2026 just a little bit. So I have been very inspired by Pagebound, which is like a book tracking app, you know, like a reading kind of app like Storygraph and Goodreads, except I have like literally become so obsessed with Pagebound over the last week and a half. I think I discovered it like 2 weeks ago or something now at this point. And look, I've already got merch, but what makes Pagebound so different? I mean, there's many things that makes Pagebound so different, but one of the things that I was so inspired by was the quests and the side quests that you can complete on Pagebound. So essentially a lot of these quests have like, you know, a 3 award tier. So you have like the bronze, the silver and the gold. So in the Gothic Literature quest, you can get a bronze award if you've read 5 of the books, or a silver one if you've read 10, and a gold award if you've read 15. And you know, things like that does make me more excited to read. I love an achievement. I love the feeling of getting an achievement. So with that in mind, what I've decided to do with my 26 books to read in 2026 is that I'm going to have 16 achievements and then a top 10, you know, books to read that I really want to get to. And obviously like there's books to read in the achievements thing, and I have listed like specific books that I want to do, but I've gamified it. I've gamified it somehow. I mean, have I really? But like, yes, kind of. It's all in the mind. And some of these quests have either 2 or 3 achievements, so it will all total 26 by the end of this. So it's still technically my 26 books to read in 2026, even though there's actually more. There's actually more on my list than 26. Anyway, let's get into it. So the first quest is the library quest, and I'm not doing my library challenge in 2026, but I still want to use my library, and I have many other different creative ideas to use it. And so I only have 2 achievements for the library quest, and there's like some with 3 achievements coming up. But for the silver, if I want to unlock the silver, I will need to check out 2 books from my library this year, which is like very easy to do. And then if I want to get the gold, I have to check out at least 4 books from my library this year. I'm definitely going to do way more than that, but I feel like as a baseline, just so that I can start unlocking some achievements, that would like really help me. And also I think what would be really fun too is, you know, like, does anyone play PlayStation? You know, when you pop a trophy and you complete an achievement and it comes up like a trophy and the name of the trophy and stuff. I think what I'm going to do is like throughout the year when I'm doing like my reading vlogs, you know, like Imposter Toss or Snake Across My Bookshelves, and I end up completing an achievement, I will have it like unlock in the side of one of my vlogs, so you can see my progress through the year, me doing this 26 books to read in 2026, and those achievements will unlock through the year. So like that will also encourage me to do this list as well. I mean, it's like, why you need an encouragement to do a list that you're setting? Like, aren't you hyped for these books anyway? Don't you want to read these books? Yes, absolutely I do. And this is just making me more excited, you know, like you can't have enough excitement, can you? At least that's what we're aiming for in 2026. So next, the classics quest. And yes, I'm falling down a bit of a classics rabbit hole recently. I cannot get enough of them. After finishing Les Mis, I just can't get enough. So I actually have 3 achievements for the classics quest. So in order to get the bronze achievement, I need to read Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. And I was going to do something like, oh, instead of like picking specific books for these achievements, I could just pick an author. So like I'll get the bronze if I read a Charles Dickens, and I get silver if I read this author and stuff. But I specifically want to read Oliver Twist because I've wanted to read this since like 2020. I actually had an idea, a plan in 2020 to read this book and sing some of the songs from Oliver the Musical. Like, isn't that just so fun? And it never happened. That was like nearly 6 years ago now. And I just want to get my Cockney out. You know what I mean? And I just want to sing As Long As He Needs Me. So doing a reading vlog for Oliver Twist while singing a couple of Oliver Twist songs, like Consider Yourself at Home, Consider Yourself Part of Furniture. You know what I mean? Like, oh my god. Could you imagine me dressed up as a little Oliver Twist? Oh my god. I will unlock silver if I read The Phantom of the Opera. And I have needed to read this for years as well. So a lot of the books on this list are books that I've meant to get to, especially with the quests. Like, the quests are things that, oh, I really should read these now, you dumb bitch. Like, I had this on my TBR for the last, like, 5 or 6 years as well. So it'll be really great to get to this one. And I feel like I don't really need to explain too much of what these ones are about, especially with the classics, because I feel like, you know, like Oliver Twist, you know, Orphan Boy goes off to London, meets the Awful Dodger and stuff like that. Phantom of the Opera, Christine. You've probably seen the musical. For the gold, I actually don't know what this is about, but I've heard of it, and it's kind of intimidating. It's War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. I know. I thought I would put some more stakes on this because I did that with my 25 books to read in 2025. I added Les Miserables, and I ended up doing it. And you guys underestimated me. I know you all thought that I wouldn't actually read it in 2025, but I did. Oh, I did. So I feel like adding something like War and Peace on here is also going to add the same kind of element. And I am very excited to read another massive classic. I had the best time with Les Mis, honestly, so I actually don't even know what War and Peace is about. So this is one I'm going to be going into completely blind. So I do have a fantasy quest I'm going to do. This also will only have 2 achievements, and that is because there's actually 6 books here. So these books that I'm about to talk about are ones where I've went out of my way to purchase from a book box place, and I said I would do reading vlogs for them. So by putting them on this list, it means I will absolutely have to do that in 2026. So for the silver, I have got the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb on here, and I have already read Assassin's Apprentice. I read that one in 2020, and I kind of don't really quite remember everything about it, so I will be rereading it and then moving on to Royal Assassin and Assassin's Quest. But yeah, I went out of my way to buy these from Illumicrate, and I actually want to read the series that I'm buying, where I'm pretty much buying all of them in the series and not reading them. I learned my lesson with my Emboss or Toss episode, where I read the first book in a series, where I own multiple books from that series. And yeah, I mean, I knew I already liked Assassin's Apprentice, but we've got to continue on. So that is for the silver, because yeah, only 2 achievements for this one, because there are actually like 6 books on the fantasy quest to complete. Because for the gold, I don't think anyone's going to be surprised. For the gold, I do have the Malazan Book of the Fallen series by Stephen Erickson for the gold. Like, if I read the trilogy, because I did want to do a reading vlog for these, and I have books 4 through 6 as well, and I will continue to get the Broken Binding editions, but I want to actually give them a read, like I said I would, and so I will unlock the gold achievement for the fantasy quest if I read the Malazan first 3 books. And I want to do a vlog for it, spoiler filled. Same with the Farseer trilogy. They will have like proper dedicated trilogy vlogs. Honestly, this is like a workout in itself, just picking it up. I'm sweating, absolutely sweating. Also, if you want to add me on Pagebound, I do have the link down below. Go add me, make an account, it's so fun. So the next 2 quests are actually part of like my series that I'm doing on my channel, where I'm dedicating my time to reading specific things. I have cut down on a lot of series for 2026 because I want to be a little bit more fun and fancy free when it comes to vlogging. But there are 2 specific series where I'm reading through an entire thing, and I want to continue. So the next one is the Discworld Quest. In order to achieve the bronze achievement in that, I have to read God's Gods by Terry Pratchett, and this will be in episode 2. And doing this quest thing as well is going to encourage me to continue the episodes, because I only did 1 Discworld video in 2025, and I started it in September or end of August, and I'm like, that is really slow progress. So this will hopefully get me to move forward with the series and read it a little bit faster, so I can do my dedicated episodes to them. So I've got God's Gods for the bronze, and this will be in episode 2. So this will encourage me to do episode 2 soon, which I do plan on doing at the end of January, start of February. And then for the silver, it is Witches Abroad, and that is part of episode 3. So that will again encourage me to continue. And I don't own it yet, because I am only going to be buying them when I get to that episode, essentially. And then for the silver, it will be Hogfather, and that one will be in episode 5. So I'm hoping by the end of 2026 I'll have done, 5 episodes in total of the Discworld, Gavin Reads All the Discworld series, because then at least I'll be making good progress with the series, and it won't take me until like 2030 to finish the Discworld, because that is just a little bit ridiculous for me personally. I would like to get more episodes done, and getting the achievements while I get to those parts will just be phenomenal. So yeah, that just means I also have a Stephen King quest as well. So I also under-delivered on how many Stephen King videos I did in 2025. I only did 3 main episodes, and 2 of them were like the full novels, and one of the episodes was the short story collections. So I only read 8, and I was hoping to do a lot better and with a lot more progress with reading Stephen King's books. So a Stephen King quest for the bronze, I do have Needful Things. This is going to be the next episode, which I will be covering this month in January. So you're getting the bronze achievement early on in the year is going to be so amazing. I feel it will unlock, and I will feel so achieved. So yeah, that's for episode 2. And then I also have 4 Past Midnight, which will be the next short story collection episode. And that will be episode 9 overall of Gavin Reads All the King. And then for the gold, it will be The Colorado Kid, which will be in episode 11. So I am aiming to get at least up to episode 11 for Gavin Reads All the King this year. And then that again will make me feel like I'm making great progress with the series and I will be on track. So if I want to get that gold star for Kathy Parr, then I need to be on it. But I will say the Discworld series and the Stephen King series are 2 of the few series that I'm bringing forward, moving forward. I'm cutting down on a lot of series that I'm doing on my channel, but Imposter Tar, Stay Across My Bookshelves, Gavin Reads All the King, Gavin Reads All the Discworld, they're the 4 main series that I will be focusing on in 2026, as well as vlogs of Halloween and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah. So the last quest, which will be the last 3 achievements before my top 10 reads of the year that I really want to get to, is the Book Box Quest. And this one is a lot more general. So in order to get the bronze, I need to just read any book that I got from Fairy Loot. So that could be any book on the shelves. I'm not going to double up either. So you know how I've got, well, I haven't got any of the Fairy Loot books. I can't double up. So I think I do have a Fairy Loot book in my top 10 books to read. I can't double up. It has to be a different one. But I have plenty on my shelves, so I do want to try and get to it. I do kind of want to do an episode of either Imposter Toss or Snake Across My Bookshelves where I dedicate it to Book Box books. So I think that could be really fun. And then for the silver achievement, it will be an Illumicrate book. So any book I got from Illumicrate or any of the spin-off book boxes that they've done. So I also have Evernight. So it could be a book from Evernight, just any Illumicrate book. Because yeah, the Assassin's Quest, Robin Hobb, they could have counted, but they're not gonna. And then finally for the gold, it will be a Broken Binding book box book, which again, Malazan could have fit for that. But no, I have plenty of other book box books to get to. So that will be my book box quest. And that would mean 16 achievements that I will need to unlock. So that is the first 16 kind of books / series that I want to get to in 2026. So now let's get into the top 10 books that I want to read that aren't attached to achievements. But if I read these in vlogs, I will still do a little trophy pop as well for you read a top 10 book of the year. So let's get into them and I will explain more about what these ones are about. Is my voice cracking? What is going on? I will tell you what these books are about. I didn't really cover much of what these ones were about because they're more general achievements rather than anything else. But yeah, let's get into it. Oh, did I say please like the video if you enjoy, subscribe if you haven't already? I don't think I have, so please do that if you haven't. If you haven't yet liked the video, please do. And leave comments as well. Let me know what your 26 books you read in 2026 are, or just any book that you're prioritizing. It doesn't have to be 26. So anyway, the first book of the top 10 I want to read is Cursed Daughters by Oyinkan Braithwaite. And this one I saw around, especially because of the Goodreads Choice Awards. And I picked this up in Waterstones. I was just so drawn to it. We have a main character whose family says that she looks like a reincarnation of her dead aunt. And there is also a family curse as well, as in no man will ever be happy with this family. No man will call your house his home, and if they try, they will not have peace. So the main character ends up saving a boy from drowning, and I think there might be some kind of story there. The next book is Green Rider by Kristen Britton. Thank you so much, Jade, for recommending this one, because you got me so excited to try the series for the first time. Yeah, you're gonna see quite a bit of fantasy in this list. Again, the fantasy has been coming out of me in recent times. It has been leaping out, so I'm just riding the wave. But this is the thing as well, in 5, 6, 7 months, I might be in a romance mood. I might be in a sci-fi mood. You just never know. But right now, Green Rider is so high up on my top 10 priority list. This one follows Carrigan, and she comes across a rider in the forest who has been shot with arrows, and he has this really important message to give that's a life or death thing to the king, I think it is, and he gives Carrigan the message, and this rider also tells Carrigan, beware the shadow man, and then he dies. And then Carrigan has to go on this adventure. So yeah, that's the really briefest of summaries for it, but it sounds so fantastic. My friend Jade really hyped me up for this one, so I hope it doesn't disappoint. Could end up being a rocky friendship if I don't like it. The next book is The Confessions of Franny Langton by Sarah Collins. The reason why I put this one on my top 10 list is because earlier this year I did a reaction to my book haul videos from 2019 to 2024, and I was watching my very first book haul video and this was on there. And I kind of do really want to do episodes as well of Staying Across My Bookshelves where I read the oldest book on my TBR from each shelf kind of thing. And I think just prioritizing some reads that I've had on my shelf for years is going to be a really good thing. So because this was in my very first ever book haul, I thought it would be great to finally give it a read. This one is set in 1826 and we follow Franny Langton, and she was the maid to a couple of people, and those people ended up dead. They died, they got murdered, and Franny Langton is now on trial for their murders. And this is her first time telling the story of what happened. I don't know if the confessions means that she's confessing to murder or confessing that she didn't do it. I don't know. But yeah, 7 years. 7 years nearly since I've had that one on my shelves. And then completely flipping from like a book that's been on my TBR forever to one that's quite recent, The Tower of the Tyrant by J.T. Greathouse. This one has been making its rounds recently. I believe this was in a Fairy Loot box. So again, it won't count for the Fairy Loot book box quest, but it will still count for my top 10 because I'm genuinely so excited to read it. I've heard great things. We follow Fowler, who is a talented sorceress, and she is trying to get some remnants of magic that were left behind by the first fork. And Fowler is doing that because the lands are, you know, consumed by darkness, and she feels the need to save it. And there's definitely still more fantasy coming. There really is. As well as a lit RPG, so I have How to Defeat a Demon King in 10 Easy Steps by Andrew Rowe. I mentioned this recently in my book haul video that I love Dungeon Crawler Call. That's the only lit RPG series that I've read so far, and this is another lit RPG, and I would like to see if I actually enjoy the genre, or if Dungeon Crawler Call is a fluke. So I definitely want to give this one a read. It sounds really good. We have this Demon King who gets reincarnated, I think, like every 1,000 years. Yeah, rises and conquers, and a hero is reborn 100 years later to defeat him, but the people can't wait 100 years for a hero to be born, to be made, to defeat the Demon King, so they have to pursue a different hero. I've heard this is for fans of The Legend of Zelda. I love The Legend of Zelda so much, so perfect. This is, I think, the shortest book on my 26 books to read in 2026. Like, everything else is massive. I don't know why I've done this to myself. Because speaking of massive books, look at the size of this one. Yep. The Shipwright and the Shroud Weaver by Raphael Tarubia. I don't know why I'm putting this... Well, I know why I'm putting this on. I'm very excited to read it. But, like, this is incredibly insane, because I also have another massive book coming up too. Yeah, it's the year of the big books this year, apparently. The year of the big books. She's a master of magical shipbuilding. He's the maker of the gilded gods that fuel their sails, stitched from the souls of dead sailors. And there was a calamity that killed the gods and stole the names of the people. And yeah, it's very vague what the summary says, but it says it's like a dark fairy tale, a little bit gothic and things like that. And those are my buzzwords. So yeah, the big size is not putting me off. My 2026 motto is the bigger the better. Not always the case though. It's how you use it. Then I have Dinner at the Night Library by Hika Harada. This is translated from Japanese by the same translator of the Traveling Cat Chronicles, which I did read earlier in the year in 2025, and I really liked it. So our main character, she works at a bookshop, but it's like crumbling down around her, and she's actually given a job at a library, a night library. And this is a story of her and the other librarians going on adventures, which I don't know exactly what that entails. Like, is it magical adventures, or is it just like real life adventures? I'm actually not 100% sure, but it sounds magical. It sounds great. I can't wait. And then I have How to Shape a Dragon's Breath by Monikil Blackgoose. And this one was recommended to me from a few patrons, a few channel members, and I wanted to save it for the Our Fantasy Bingo episodes, but I don't think I'm going to be doing any Our Fantasy Bingo episodes in the future. I think I'm cancelling that series. I kind of just want to read the fantasy when I want to read the fantasy, and by giving me those constraints of completing it in the week that I'm reading the books for the vlog, it's just like a little bit not fun anymore for me. So I think I'm just doing the 2 episodes of that, and then I think I'm cancelling it. Because I do really want to like actually more mood read and have more space on my schedule to just do that in vlog. But this one is carrying over from my Our Fantasy Bingo challenge because I just cannot wait to read it. This is set on an island where they haven't seen a dragon for years, but there is a 15-year-old who finds a dragon's egg. This 15-year-old is called Inequus, and she bonds with this dragon when it hatches. And so it sounds like a little How to Train Your Dragon a little bit, but I think this also has themes of colonialism because the conquerors of her land aren't too happy about her being bonded to a dragon. So I love what it says here. It says, a young indigenous woman enters a colonizer-run dragon academy and quickly finds herself at odds with the approved way of doing things in the first book of a brilliant new fantasy series. That sounds amazing. That sounds fantastic. Cannot wait to give it a read. Which I've said about every single book. I'm sorry, but like I just can't. And on a related note, doesn't this look like dragon scales? I think it's supposed to be dragon scales. I think it is supposed to be a dragon. King Sorrow by Joe Hill. Yes, I'm putting this on my 26 books to read in 2026. Again, this is the last massive book though. The next one is not as massive. But this one, I think it's like King Arthur inspired, but I can't quite grasp like when it's supposed to be set. I think it's supposed to be set like in the present day with some like medieval inspirations, because we have Arthur who is a student at a college, and I believe he's bullied quite a bit, and he turns to his friends to help him with his bullies. They dream up an impossible fantastical scheme that they scarcely imagine will work to summon the fabled dragon King Sorrow to kill those tormenting Arthur. Sounds messed up as well. Sounds very messed up, but I did read Horns by Joe Hill and I liked it, and so I want to continue reading more of Joe Hill's work, see if I think he's an author for me. Take a shot every time my voice breaks. And then the last book on my priority list is The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. Many reasons why I want to read this one. It is Carrie inspired, and I love Carrie. I think Carrie is a fantastic book, and I love Tiffany D. Jackson too. I've read 3 books by Tiffany D. Jackson now, and I've given pretty much like 4s and 5 stars. So this one is definitely the one that I think out of all of her works that I haven't yet got to, this is the one that I want to read the most. It was recommended to me so many times during Summerween too, so I ended up picking it up, and here we are. There was an incident in Springville on prom night, and apparently a lot of people died. And the people who are left alive all say that Maddie did it. And Maddie is our main character, must be the Carrie-inspired character from what I'm thinking of. But also explores the horrors of American racism and what this young girl has to go through. And that tagline as well, uneasy lies the head that wears the tiara. Oh, that's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So this is going to be my last priority top 10 book to read in 2026. So there we have it. We have all of the books, essentially, that I need to read, and then some other ones that I don't quite have just yet, but are part of series that I'm doing on my channel. So hopefully that makes you very excited about what's to come on Gavin Reads It All in 2026. And if I am left with any of these books at the end of 2026, I will then be doing a reading vlog at the start of 2027 to finish up the reads of 2026. And I hope you're looking forward to the 25 books to read in 2025 cleanup vlog, which I'm filming at this moment in time when I'm not feeling so ill. I don't feel ill. I'm just bunged up. I've got a sore throat. I've got a runny nose. You know, I've got everything but feeling ill, really. But I will be getting back to that once I'm like 100%, you know. But anyway, yeah, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already. I do have channel memberships as well if you would like to join for more content, more reading sprints, anything like that. And a huge thank you to my channel members who are existing right now. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate you guys. And yeah, I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye.